Hello and welcome to Up and About. I'm your host, Eniola Lunge. On Up and About, we actively pursue the development and the prosperity of the African continent. The show is positioned as a transgenerational show. This means that we'll be having people from different walks of life and in different levels of experience come to the set with me to discuss, their experience so far, and in order for us to leverage on their wealth of experience that they have gathered over the years. So this episode is the one on the fashion design industry. To help me and to just walk us through this episode, we have one guest. For today, we have Oyewole Olumegbon.
Olumegbon Ibrahim Oyewole is the founder and creative director of Foremost Oyewole Stitches, an indigene of Lagos State from the Olumegbon chieftaincy family of Lagos Island. He attended Fountain and Treasureland Primary School, respectively, and also Nigerian Navy Secondary School Ibara, Abeokuta for junior secondary and King's College Lagos for senior secondary. He is also a graduate of philosophy from the University of Lagos.
Welcome, Oye. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Inola, for having me today. My pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. What led you to pursue fashion?
Initially, I always wanted to look good. I always wanted to look presentable. I always wanted to catch people's attention from the way I look. I always wanted to step out and people tell me, I like the way you look. You look good. Where did you get this from? How did you get this? You know, and all that. Or I pass the gathering and then people will be like, oh, I like what that guy's wearing. You look good on them. And then also being neat. You can't have a lovely stand and you're not neat or it looks dirty. You know, some people look into those details too. Very, very important. So,
very important.
With that, it just made me develop my passion for fashion continuously from time to time. And then it started going from a particular stage to another stage and like that. Went on for me. I kept on getting better on my stand and my fashion interest grew.
When you first told, let's say, your parents or your siblings or those closest to you that, oh, so I know that I have gone to school to pursue this degree, but after all, now that the university is over, I'm going to actually go into the fashion design industry. What was the reactions from the people that you told?
Honestly, their reaction was extremely encouraging because I grew up in a family where my grandfather was a tailor, and he was not just a tailor; he was a master tailor in terms of garment manufacturing, and then talk about tailoring and the rest of it, And then my dad too had the flair for that already, so it was a family thing. And then me saying I want to go into fashion was just that, yeah, the coast is clear, man. Do your thing.
There are a lot of people who would like to pursue their passion, but are just not, receiving the type of support that they would love to receive from their friends, from their family. Yeah. So what would your advice be to such a person?
Well, I mean, if you have the passion, follow it. There's a reason, for you having that passion. At the end of the day, trust me. So far it keeps coming out of you, and then you're just saying, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. I think you should just give it a try, like full force, and then give it a try. Then with the little or more of the optimism you have, I think you should get to where you're headed.
Exactly. So I like what you said, full force. Yeah. I think people go at things half-heartedly. So I think if you want to, actually prove the naysayers wrong, if you want to actually, become successful, if you want to bring your dream into reality, you really do need to go with full force.
Yeah, full force.
No holds barred, forget about fear. Just do everything as though you have already succeeded. And I think that's one thing that everybody needs to learn from the episode today. Now, I want to ask you, Oye, how have you been able to build a brand for your business?
Honestly, it has been really tasking because in a country like Nigeria, where you know that you are the only one that is left to, kickstart your vision yourself. Nobody's going to do that for you. You have to just do that yourself. And then when that is going to be obvious to you is when you have to develop a plan. So mine started off from doing it in my head. Eventually, I had to go to my drawing table. I said, look, man, this is what I want to do. At so time, I want to register my company, just so I know that my company name is secured. I did that, and I designed my logo, and then I had to figure out a name that will speak for me and that will speak for my brand. So all those things had to do with a lot of writing. I had to come up with different names to make sure that, I get what I want. And then I was able to arrive at a very interesting one.
Yeah.
So whenever I remember that name, or whenever I hear that name, I would love to smile and say, yes, that's me. That's my brand.
I really do like it. Foremost.
Yeah,
It speaks to luxury, opulence.
Yeah.
Being the best out of many, out of the rest.
I wanted the name to just speak for itself, like for the brand, and then I think as it implies, foremost, ranking above others.
Come on, I love it. That's a great one. So even if your business is not what you have in mind for it to be at the present, just don't name it based on your present realities. Name it based on the possibilities that you see are in the works for you. And so that's why it's very important for you to be a dreamer. Now, I know that people say that, oh, dreaming is just dreaming, dreaming is just dreaming.
Yeah.
But for you to get anything done in life, it has to first start in the mind. It has to first start from within you. And so everything that was ever created in this life, on this earth, started from somebody thinking about something on the inside of them. And so, yeah, we're just encouraging you to, keep on dreaming, keep on, keeping the faith. So we'll be right back.
You're going to fashion, you have to just make sure that, you know what you're doing, and then you focus and then keep on pushing that thing, and then till you get to the point where people ask you like, okay.
Did you know? 1. The Nigerian fashion industry has averaged a 17% growth rate since 2010 according to the National Bureau of Statistics. 2. 80 billion pieces of clothing are consumed globally every year. 3. The expected lifespan of a cotton fabric is 100 years. 4. Zippers were invented in 1893 and were initially used on shoes and boots to make wearing them faster. 5. The sewing machine was invented in 1790 by Thomas Saint. Now you know.
Welcome back. This is still Up and About, and of course, I'm your host, Eniola, and in the studio with me discussing the topic or the subject of fashion, and specifically the fashion design industry. We have the owner, the creative director of Foremost Oyewole Stitches, Oyewole Olumegbon himself. Now, we're just talking about how, it's very important for you to build a brand for your business. It's very important for you to visualize where you see your brand going in the nearest future, and for you to position yourself to actually get to the place that you hope that you'll be, your business, not just you, but your business will get to. And so, I just want to quickly ask you, what kind of lessons have you learned?
Some of the lessons I've learned, some of the key lessons I've learned is that I need to rethink before taking some very, crucial decisions. You need to think thoroughly and ask yourself, and then come to a reasonable conclusion that yes, this is what you really want to do. Otherwise, you just find yourself, confused, regretting, and all of that. So, but once you know that this is what you want, this is what you want to go for, I feel like you wouldn't make any mistake you're going to regret.
Exactly. So now I want to ask from the employee angle. So what has been your experience working with artisans that are not, let's say, are not professionally trained? What has that been like for you?
I feel like it's only a matter of time, you know. I aspire to go bigger, I aspire to go better, and I aspire to go foremost, just like my company, my brand implies. But then for the meantime, while I can just do with what I have, I feel like I have to just, you know, make do what I have. And then pending my time when my brand goes bigger, I will do the needful and correct what I need to be corrected.
You sound like you have a lot of things that you want to correct, but
Yeah, there are a lot of things I would love to correct, but I feel like it has to do with time.
okay.
Yeah, with time. You know, some things are better done gradually than just, you know, so fast like that. It makes you achieve a better results, you know. And then you're glad that you used you know, gradual approach rather than the, you know,
A short bullet
yeah,
approach. So,
so
so
approach.
focused, long term,
Yeah, exactly.
making sure with the end goal in mind. That's your own style.
Exactly.
I love it. And so now I want to just quickly ask you what you think is the future of the fashion industry in Nigeria, because we see a lot of, there are a lot of local talents in Nigeria, but we still have people not um, or deeming those local talents as second class to the global brands. How do you think that we can fix that problem in the Nigerian fashion space?
Um, I whenever I have opportunity to talk about fashion, I always tell everybody, any person I'm talking about fashion with that fashion is never ending, style is never final, and then from now till that kingdom come, it's going to be fashion is going to be relevant. Just that the approach is going to be different. Like there's always a new or another dimension to fashion. So it's either you appreciate it or you don't appreciate it. It is somebody's vision. Somebody had a reason for, you know, actualizing that specific fashion approach. So I feel like the future of fashion industry is a promising one, and then it shouldn't be underrated. Shouldn't be underrated at all, because there are a lot of promising fashion designers, and trust me, it's very, very competitive. I can tell you that for free. It's very, very competitive. So if you're going to fashion, you have to just make sure that you know what you're doing, and then you focus, and then keep on pushing that thing, and then till you get to the point where people ask you like, okay, what inspired you, what motivated you, then you start talking. At that stage, you've achieved, and then you've made sense, and then you've proved the point
Right.
to people that they can no longer dispute what you're saying.
Exactly.
It's like an undisputed, statement that okay, it's it.
And I think that's where the global brands are currently.
Exactly.
And so I think that if they could get there, then there's definitely a chance that sometime soon in the coming future, that Nigerian brands will also,
Yeah.
their name will also just be a statement
Yeah,
of
they will.
excellence, of
They
luxury.
will actually. It's a gradual process. They will. You know, it has to do with a lot of hard work, commitment, and dedication. You know, with time, nothing good comes easy, and then you have to just work, and then just make sure you stay true to your vision and passion for fashion itself.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, quick one again. How did you get your initial capital to start your business?
Okay, that was.
Tell us the story.
Okay, I've always wanted to do fashion, but you see, that capital was a challenge, and then trust me, some people have it on a platter of gold, or some they actually have to work for it and then discipline themselves to save up to just start, actualizing that,
Yeah.
goal and focus. So for me, it was very interesting. I was supposed to take 2 professional exams at that particular time, and then I was still serving. And then, as a youth corper, you can't just spend your money at once. You have to keep on saving, or keep on saving a bit at least. And then it gets to the part where you're paid like double toward the end.
Yeah.
So I think that's
The last month.
Yeah. So by the time I added the one I saved, coupled with the other 2 I saved, like the extra they pay us, like with the NYC, it added up to a reasonable amount, and then I kept that one side. Then I was left without my professional exam, the two professional exams I was supposed to take. And I said to myself, man, why don't I actualize this my goal first? And this professional exam thing wait. I just added the money together and I registered my business name. I did my logo. I reached out to the possible platform that could help promote my brand. I reached out to people that could help model my outfits. You know, I did, and all of that, you know, mobilizing people, logistics and all that, it has to have money, especially in Nigeria. You can't just get things done without shaking your hand.
Oil greasing.
You understand?
The hand.
So, yeah, I had to just quickly, you know, use the money to effect that and put that in place. So I know that at least I have something running. And then I know that by God's grace, God's willing, if I'm still supposed to take the professional exam, I will.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So you heard from Oyewole Olumegbon, you know, talking about how he got his initial capital to start his own business. And so you might feel like, oh, the money you have currently is so little and, you know, it really can't do anything for you. But with that 500 naira, with that 1,000 naira, with the 2K that you can just save up, instead of going out, instead of splurging, just save it, because you know that this thing is what I need. This is the vehicle that is going to get me to the goal that I want to attain for my life. And so, yeah, we have 2 questions before we call it a wrap. But before then, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
We're organizing this for people that are fashion inclined. Come and do your thing. Come and show yourself. Come and show what you got. You know, let them know that from Nigeria, from Lagos State, we have people that, you know.
Exactly.
From there, I mean, other people, I mean, international, they can always come together.
How to succeed in the industry. 1. Think like an entrepreneur. 2. Know who your clients are. 3. Start small with 1 or 2 product lines. 4. Set the right price. 5. Online shopping is in. Invest in your online presence.
Welcome back from that short break. This is still Up and About, and we have Oyewole Olumegbon talking about the fashion industry with us in the studio today. Now, we have 2 final questions for this episode. And so, Oye, what would you say is the possibility or the potentiality of fashion influencing mental health issues?
For me personally, yeah, it has influenced my mental health positively. In terms of after school, after youth service, you know, was nothing to do basically. Yeah, you know, or you're getting offers that you're not worth it, and then you just be like, okay, let me just stick to my passion. Let me just stick to what I know how to do best, while I, you know, still, you know, write applications, and then, you know, it was helping me, you know, mentally to occupy myself, my mind, and then do things I felt I could do without having to, you know, intend for or ask anybody for help. It was already a passion. All I needed to do was to develop it, you know, further to, you know, to a particular level, and then from there. But mentally, it was a positive. It was very, very positive for me.
For me, as a fashion consumer, because I don't produce fashion or anything like that, but I know that when I get new clothes, I am my mood definitely becomes elevated, as I think that yes, fashion actually does, or fashion has the potentiality to actually, you know, influence and to impact, you know, mental health issues in Nigeria. So the last question for today, very last and final question.
Okay.
So if you were ever invited to a roundtable on the fashion industry, organized by the government, what would be your recommendation? So in terms of artisan welfare, in terms of structuring the industry, in terms of any other thing that you might want to talk about?
Firstly, to be a privilege, and asking that question, I really look forward to that. I tell you for free, because I would suggest and recommend quite a lot, but I would just center on the three things I'm
Okay.
about to just say and discuss briefly. I think a lot of seminars should be put in place to sensitize people, to create awareness, and then make them understand what the government is doing to support the fashion industry, because not everybody is that informed. Everybody is basically trying to struggle to be informed. Understand? So I feel like when these seminars are put in place to educate people and know that the government is making this particular, effort and then resources, for other people to, come out and then, take part in the fashion industry, I feel like they'll come up. The second is an academy. You find out that the academies that are being set aside for fashion industry are always short term. We don't want short term. We want long term. We want the situation whereby somebody is interested in the fashion industry and then nothing is delaying the person. You want to do fashion. Oh, Lagos State, so, Larry, go there. And then when you get there, you're not going to take time. They're going to adequately have your time, to encourage you and make sure you do things, better, and then you get what you came there for.
Exactly.
And then lastly is continuous investment in the fashion industry. You hardly have fashion shows, fashion concerts organized by government. You hardly do. What you see is probably a bank or some,
A brand.
yeah, or probably collaborative, stuff, coming out to say it's a fashion show for a concert. You don't see government saying, okay, I mean, we're organizing this for people that are fashion inclined. Come and do your thing. Come and show yourself. Come and show what you got. Let them know that from Nigeria, from Lagos State, we have people that
Exactly.
From there, other people, internationally can always come together and say, okay, look, I want to do something in Nigeria. From there, people can collaborate and come together and make fantastic,
I love what I'm hearing. So if you think that you have ideas, if you think that if you were also invited to a roundtable with the government officials or just with a government agency on the fashion industry, if you think that you have something interesting to talk about, let us know. Drop a comment on our page on Instagram. All right, so that's all the time we have on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to speaking with you same time next week. Bye-bye.